to the republic for which it stands.
One nation, under God.
Indivisible.
With liberty and justice for all.
Guns, self-defense, conceal carry. This is the Patriot Defense Podcast. From the War Room in Idaho's high desert, here's your host, Todd Echols.
And we are back once again into Saturday evening, and we are tucked away in the war room somewhere in the high desert of southern Idaho. We are quarantined. We are locked
behind
down.
Enemy lines.
We are behind enemy lines.
In
In
the
fact,
occupied United States.
I heard a rumor the National Guard was headed our way.
Okay.
Are you ready?
No, I didn't bring anything.
I've got ammo.
I'm not ready.
The guns are in the house. So tonight we have the Cajun Cowboy returns.
Oh, come on, man.
No, we like that.
No,
Everybody likes that.
Everyone,
Catchy name.
dude. I have people like message me on Facebook asking and talking
I'm not
about
Cajun, I'm not a cowboy.
the Cajun Cowboy.
Okay, well, I don't know who they're talking
Say something in French.
Sounded
Can't
pretty
think of
good.
that. Bonjour.
No, what's that other phrase you say?
It's the same one I always say.
Say it again. We like to hear it.
Kind of feeling pressured to. I feel like a pet that you do it.
Do the thing.
Okay. We won't turn you into a pet.
Okay, kind of am.
We got Mr. Marks with us,
I'm back. I'm here.
and I pointed at you, Mr. Marks.
Yes.
And we have someone
It helps with the audio.
helps with that. And we got someone else joining us tonight, and I forgot your name already. Introduce us to your buddy.
This is my buddy Chris. We've been
Chris.
we've been buddies for a long time.
Hello.
Ooh.
Oh, whoa.
Whoa. That's, wow, he's doing the overnight show.
Okay.
That's for the ladies.
You looking for a lady?
No.
No, he's
Oh, yeah, I'm just checking. You do you, man. You do you. So how you been, Mr. Mark?
stressed.
Stressed?
To
Why are
the
you
max.
stressed?
Because all the first time gun buyers and just
Just
don't
mail
know.
it to their house, man. Just mail it.
They want them just mailed directly to their
Right.
houses.
I don't know. It's with the background check system and all the gun purchasing and everything. It's just very rarely do I even get a break or a lunch or
You're being oppressed.
Well, I don't really care so much about it. It's just that I wish people would just calm down a little bit. I get that they want their guns and it's their right to have them. I'm not going to keep anybody from that, but everybody needs to just cool down a little bit.
So how's the background system? How's the background check thing going? Is it crashing all the time?
It's not necessarily crashing. It's
I heard people are having to wait like long time.
so here's what's going on is unless
They're running out of guns. They ain't got that much weight no more.
sometimes it'll go right through. And then other times, which is about 80% of the time, it goes into researching mode, which will then sit there for about half an hour researching, only to come back to say delayed.
Because it doesn't have the bandwidth to keep going?
Yeah,
or?
so the volume of people submitting background checks right now is like way higher than it ever has been.
So if you would have, been prepared and taken your concealed carry class and got your permit, and the only one's able to do this is when you take the one from Patriot Defense. And you just have to show your permit, fill out the paperwork, and no background check.
Yeah.
They don't call it in. You fill it out, they don't call it in.
Right, because you've already had a more thorough background check done to get the concealed permits.
Are you telling people that when they're
I
waiting?
recommend it to them, but they're, I let mine expire because Idaho's permitless carry. And I'm like, well, that's great for carrying.
That was a bad move.
But yeah, bad move if you're wanting to buy a gun.
There are benefits to having a concealed carry
Yes,
permit.
very much
and it's
so.
like, do you ever leave the state? Because it's nice.
Yeah, it is nice
to
then,
have
too.
it.
Yeah.
So what else? What else is going on? What are you seeing?
I've seen a lot of I call them first time gun buyers, but everybody's got to start somewhere. I get that.
He's our guy on the front lines.
I started at one point. I bought my first gun, and I get everybody's got to be a first timer. But if you're not up to speed on stuff and you're not really versed in it, you really I can pick them out of a crowd. I mean, they'll all be standing there. I can tell you the guys that have bought guns before and the guys or the people that definitely have not. And it's all by the way they act and just are, you ask, can I help you? And they're like, yeah, I'm looking at a gun. And you try and qualify what they're after. You try and
a boomstick.
You figure out what they're trying to use it for or what they want it for. And they have no answer. You can also tell by the people that are, they ask you a question and then you answer them and they don't listen to a thing you say.
Right.
So, because they just have it in their mind that they need to panic buy this gun.
So do they even have an idea of what they want? Are these people just coming in and give me that? Are they looking more for price point than anything else?
A lot of it is price point because they don't want to spend a lot of money. They don't have a lot of money to spend.
No, they're going to return it or put it up for sale again in 2 months.
But no, there was one case where an individual stood 4 feet away from the counter, pointed at the counter, which is full of guns, and pointed at one in particular and said, "Is that a gun?" And I literally thought, "Is this guy kidding me?"
Is that a gun? Is that a gun?
That is a paperweight, sir.
Yeah, and I kind of I looked down at Kevin, who was working with me at the time. I looked down at him, and I'm kind of like, "Is this guy for real?
Is that a gun, Kevin?"
And is he really asking me that? And so I kind of turned back, and I was like, yeah, it's a gun. And then he just says, okay, I'll take that one. And I'm like, okay,
Did he touch it or?
No, he never even wanted to touch it. He just wanted that one. And I told, I asked him if he had his ID with him. And then it turns out he didn't even have the right address and nothing really to supplement the address and everything. So I wasn't able to sell him the gun anyway, but still. That was a little disconcerting that even happened.
So are these do you think, we've read an article that's talked about, the left, maybe the anti-gun people are coming in buying firearms too now. They're maybe seeing that it's a good idea. Is that who you think you're seeing in the store? I'm sure you got your regulars.
Yeah, not 100%, but I'm sure there's maybe a few that are coming in.
Are these older people? Are they younger people?
Everything.
Really?
Everything you can imagine. Race, color, gender, whatever, doesn't matter.
There's no specific
age. Yeah. It's all kinds of different people.
So what do they say when they buy the gun and you tell them you don't have any ammo?
What's funny is a lot of them are actually fine with it. And I don't understand why. They're under the assumption they can just go find it anywhere.
I think that people I think they just feel good. I mean, it's not the way to be, but I think they just feel good by having a gun.
I bet some people will carry it or keep it with
unloaded.
Them, unload it. Yeah,
probably
sleep better at night if they have a gun. The gun's going to solve all their problems.
I still get asked all the time, are people going to run away when they hear me racking the slide? Well, first of all, slide needs to be pre-racked. Yeah. You need to have one chambered. But I still get that question. I think how people are going to, that's a good point. That's a good point, Tarver. You're going to point an unloaded gun at someone?
Well,
Get out of my house!
I think you're going to have people that think they can pull it out and scare everybody away. I'm like, boy, you playing some dangerous stuff.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's crazy. We got a question.
Yeah, that's for Mark.
Let's see here. So
go ahead and read it.
Out of curiosity, when the address is different on the license versus physical address, why does this cause concern? The reason I ask is when you switch address in the DMV, they allow you to just change it in the system. And okay, so
put a sticker on the back of mine.
Right,
that's a good question.
So that's a pretty good question. But the DMV is a state-run entity. When you're doing a background check or a firearms application, it's a federal firearms application. So federally, the government, you have to have a current physical address on either your license or a supplemental document issued by the state, be it like a vehicle registration, even a hunting license qualifies because the like in Idaho, the Fish and Game Department is a state-run entity. So
but
yeah, that is a good question. That's the main reason why is it's a federal form. So
is it so that the ATF guys can come find you?
Yeah,
the ATF
guys. Yes. So yeah, if necessary, like if the gun is ever stolen, recovered at a crime scene, anything like that, they can trace it.
So So when I changed my address on my, instead of issuing me a new driver's license, they gave me a little sticker that I filled out and I stuck to the back of it. That wouldn't work.
No, that actually does not qualify.
So you need to, even though the DMV tells you, no, this will be fine.
Right.
You need to pony up the bucks and insist that you need a new driver's license.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate thing because, like, if you get pulled over, it's in their system, just like he said. But, yeah, if you're buying a firearm, you're talking federal versus state. So.
Right.
Yeah.
So there you might raise it. I think we got one peeking on the bottom. Oh, you're fine. Just making sure. Whoa, look at there. So in sense, if I was to buy a new pistol and the address was different, but I bring in my proper address on my vehicle registration, would that be acceptable?
Yes, vehicle registration.
Okay.
As long as it hasn't expired and it's current. Yeah.
Okay. So you don't have to use the address. I gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a good question.
Yeah, it's a good question.
So, what are you selling the most of right now? Handguns, rifles?
So
what do you?
very specifically handguns.
Okay.
Mostly the Taurus line of pistols because they're inexpensive.
They're cheap.
Yeah. We are selling a few high points. And if you own a high point, no, you are not a gun owner. No, just kidding. No, that's just, I mean, I understand that people can afford so much. I get it. If you get a little extra on your paycheck and that's all you can afford, it's better than nothing. It's better than, a rock or whatever.
Right.
But still, you're talking.
Unless you don't have ammo.
Well, yeah.
And the
rock and the gun are the same
better.
thing. So, I mean, with ammo, you're talking your life. You're talking, possibly defending yourself.
Right.
Are you really wanting to skimp or really wanting to go cheap on defending yourself? I mean, certain people say, yeah, it doesn't matter.
Some people do.
Yeah. And I it's up to the individual.
I'm not trying to defend Taurus. It's not a great pistol, but it ain't bad.
It's not a bad gun.
It's not a bad gun.
And I'll give it that. But,
it's not a bad gun. It really is.
When it comes down to shoots every time,
right.
There's other guns that are proven that they will.
So what would you tell them to get into if they wanted to buy a Taurus? What do you try to move them up into?
I'm not going to push too much, but a little extra money. You might get into a Ruger, which sometimes aren't even any better.
God, I think I'd rather have a Taurus.
For a little bit more money.
This is a gas station gun.
Yeah. A little bit more money. The Canic line of pistols is a good option. Not that much more money. If they are willing to spend a little more, even an M&P.
Right.
You're still under $500.
I think the Canic's better than the M&P.
Yeah.
The executive
you
elite
get new gun people,
commander.
and they don't want it. That's a light trigger, and it's no safeties on it, and it's no.
Well, you got these people
like
they're not even handling the gun first. They don't know what to look for. I mean, if they're brand new and they're panic buying, they don't know to look for a trigger. They just know I pull the trigger and it goes bang. Yeah. That's all they want.
That's what I try I try to qualify people for what they want out of the gun, not necessarily just for defense, but
they don't know.
Are they going to use it in home or carry it on them, or do they want a safety? People don't even think about stuff. They're just literally panic buying these guns.
I gotta know
they have to have a gun.
The guy who said, "Is that a gun?" and bought it. What did he buy?
So he never actually bought it because he didn't have the right.
What was it though?
He was looking at it was an M&P. It was a compact, Smith & Wesson M&P compact.
Really?
Yeah, and he didn't know. He didn't have a clue what it was.
Did he seem real nervous? Like he'd
very nervous. I mean, he's like covering his face, like he didn't want to ask.
Was he an older gentleman?
No, younger guy.
Do you think he was actually scared and he was panic buying this thing?
I think he was scared.
Absolutely.
Honestly, think he was scared.
Yeah.
It's just not something that you just go out and panic buy. To me,
no, it's not.
A gun. Yes, it's a tool, but it's a weapon, and it can be very harmful in the wrong hands. Not just for other individuals, but for the person. So I mean, I hate to even joke about this, but we have said it at the gun counter that there's going to be a lot of negligent discharges coming up here pretty soon.
Oh, yeah. That's not good, but yeah.
I mean, I can almost foresee it happening.
Yeah.
So
well, and and I think it's. By the way, I do have to point out this is a milestone. Holy cow!
Sorry.
This is a whoa, man! You got to get on this.
I know. I'm way behind.
This is
Stop talking so much.
this is a milestone. We got 14 people viewing this at one time.
Everybody's inside.
You're welcome.
We don't break more than 6 people.
They're trapped. If they go
Holy-
outside, they're getting
Okay,
shot.
sorry. We got to catch up on some
We're up to
things here.
15. They're going to go away if you're not. Okay,
Okay.
I'm going to talk for just a now, what was I going to say now?
I don't know. We was talking about negligent discharges. And,
Oh, so I have had some people coming in because they call me and say, hey, I want to do a private class. I just bought a firearm. I say, come in 30 minutes. I got all the time in the world now. But they come over and I see, they need basic stuff. These are people that have bought firearms and I ask them why they have bought their firearm. And it's fine if you went out and bought it because of the way the world is right now. I get it. But at least the people that are coming in and taking classes are being responsible about it. But and they don't know, they're here to learn the safety rules. But I see a lot of hands in front of barrels. I see a lot of not knowing how to handle it. And that's why they're coming to class. But they just don't know it. And I see a lot of picking the firearm up, fingers on the trigger, racking it from the front of that slide, usually half covering the barrel when they're doing it. I've seen it all. So you guys might not be too far off. There could be some
I'm telling you,
negligent
it's going to happen.
discharges coming up.
It's not going to surprise me when it does.
That's assuming they load their own firearms.
Right.
That's assuming they can,
Ammo.
With ammo. With the right ammo.
or figure out how to load the ammo not backwards in the magazine. But
What's a magazine? It's called a clip, isn't it?
Yeah, it is called a clip. So anything else crazy going on there at the gun counter, sir?
The craziest thing is the volume of people coming through.
Right.
Usually I see it, in normal circumstances is what I call them. I see it where, 1 or 2 guys is at the gun counter. One guy decides to start buying a gun. It's a feeding frenzy is what I call it. It's like sharks when something's in the water, right?
Right.
So one guy feeds off another guy, and then the other guy, somebody else completely different shows up. They feed off of each other, and then all of a sudden, before you know it, you didn't sell any guns, and now you've sold 5. So that's under normal circumstances. With everything going on lately, it's like
times 10.
What used to be 3 to 5 guns a day is now 20 to 30 guns a day, and it's like overnight. This happened.
How do we have this many non-gun owners in Twin Falls, Idaho?
I'm sure that's the funny thing. I know these people have to own a gun already. I know a lot of them already do.
They're transplants.
But I know it's like it's
grief,
in
do
their
we have that
mind.
many?
Yes.
It's in their mind, even though they have a gun already, they need to get another gun.
Well, of course.
Everybody feeds off of this.
But you got to be able to dual wield. Come on. Haven't you seen any of the movies lately?
Bad Boys.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
Dual wield, man. So, and it's the same way with ammo too. I think there's a lot of people, buying up ammo. They just feel better maybe with more on the shelf. I have no idea. But as far as people buying the firearms, there's a lot of people from out of state here that don't have firearms. And, I think there's a lot of people.
Scary.
They're new. And they just, I've had some in my class and they're great because they're doing it right. And
If
ladies
you're trying to, learn what you're doing.
Right.
And I get, so I feel like a hypocrite in a way, but in a way I don't, because I get mad at the people that are buying all the ammo, they're just hoarding ammo, right?
Yeah. I hear about it on Facebook.
But I'm like, you know what? I have a huge stockpile of ammo, but I did it a long time ago.
Yeah.
A long time ago before any of this stuff happened. So I don't feel bad for him now.
I've been spending my time watching the Tiger King and casting my own rounds, man.
Making your own bullets.
Making my own bullets. I'm not spending money on that freaking inflated prices. I'm just not going to do it.
No, I don't either. But what you do is over time, whenever you go in the store, you just pick up a box of ammo, and when you see it on sale, you buy 1,000 rounds, and before you know it, you got
I
plenty
think that's
for
the
everything.
thing. Is a lot of people are just thinking, if I don't buy it today, I can't buy it tomorrow.
Right.
Because it won't be there tomorrow. So I got to buy it today.
Right.
So, or the next day or the next day.
And you just look around. So I try to buy in the spring and I try to buy in the fall. That's the way I do it. Yeah. When there's not a crisis like now, I'm not buying this spring.
No.
I've got enough to hold me over. But, there's a guy that, he stated it real well. He's like, you know, I've got ammo, I've got plenty of ammo, and I've got 2 ammo cans, and I've got them marked with spray painted them red, or they've got a red X on it. And if I use up all the ammo and I get to those 2 ammo cans, I stop shooting. I go out. It's time to buy some more. So I've never shot up everything I have. And I mean, it makes sense to me because, to be honest with you, if you're going to go out and practice, or you're going to defend yourself or whatever for something like this, but even if you go out and shoot a lot, 1,000 rounds of ammo does not last that long. No. Like, you bought 1,000 rounds, and granted, I shot a bunch of it as well. But I mean, how long did that last you?
It didn't last long.
It did. I mean,
a few days. Couple days, a couple times of coming out, and basically what happens is we'd start shooting, and once I start getting the monotonous of it, I'm like, you just want to get through the mag. You're like, all right, it's the time to stop because I'm not focusing on it. So I would set my timing at that, and I would stop and come back next time. Yeah, went through 1,000 in, I don't know, 2 or 3 days like that.
Yeah, I mean,
coming out shooting. Shooting as long as we shot while it was fun, and as soon as it started being not fun, it's like, it's time to stop.
Yeah.
Well, and I tell everyone too that everyone likes a good mag dump. So if you got a bunch of ammo right now, go out and shoot it. And I tell everyone, train with intent. I like a good mag dump too. That's fun. That's if you go out there with
it's a great stress reliever.
I mean, it is. If you go out there with 100 rounds of ammo, say I'm going to shoot 100 rounds of ammo. Don't mag dump 100 rounds and turn around and leave in 5 minutes.
Right.
Okay. Load a magazine up, set it aside.
Yeah.
And then learn something with everything else. And at the very end, do your little mag dump.
Grand finale.
Your grand finale. Do your mag dump, and then get out of there.
Yeah.
I mean, because I talk to people a lot, and I went out shooting. I went out and trained. Well, what'd you do? Well, I know what they did. Bang, 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 bang. And I've done the same thing. But
we've all done it. I mean,
but they call it training.
Right. Yeah, I know.
Well, you learn to jerk that trigger 100 times really hard and really freaking fast. And so it's, train with intent. Go out there and learn something. You spent the money on the gun. You spent the money on the ammo. Don't just let it sit in your closet like a magic talisman, and all the bad guys are going to avoid you. The National Guard ain't coming, and you bought this gun. They ain't coming.
So they're going to New York.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
I mean, a lot of them are buying the bulk ammo and stuff right now, but even the personal defense rounds, everything on the shelf is gone.
Yeah,
everything's gone.
Yeah, it's going like crazy.
But the funny thing is this is another thing that those first time gun buyers are doing is they're buying personal defense rounds and then they're going out to the range and just shooting them.
Oh, yeah,
I guarantee you that's happening.
Expensive.
Yeah, because they don't have an idea of any other. I mean, they don't follow the prices like I do or you do or anybody.
Right.
So
they think that $20 for, or $30 for 15 rounds or whatever it is normal.
They're oblivious to the fact that it's even personal defense ammo. I
I've
guarantee
never
you that's
seen
happening.
panic like this.
It's insane. So you guys buy online, and I've never Levi, he's a good buddy of mine, but he wants to know if we have any opinions or if anyone's ever used ammosquared.com. Has anyone?
Nope.
I haven't used it.
I've never used it, but if there's some ammo on there, you better freaking buy it, because I guarantee you, as soon as the podcast is over, Levi, I'm going to run out. I'm checking that, because that's one that
Plan on there being wait times. That's all I can.
I've been doing this a long time, and that's a website I don't think I've ever heard of.
Because we're encountering that with our huge distributors.
Right.
There's an overload of orders being thrown in there, and the labor force is not there to fill the orders.
I have never seen anything like this. This is madness.
Yeah.
So
madness.
We're talking about ammo. I want to ask your guys' opinion on something. Okay. So obviously self-defense rounds, you go get a good self-defense hollow point, one that's going to hit, not over penetrate, open up, create a large wound channel. That's what they're for. Right. Yeah. So what do you guys think? And this is old news. And I had a gentleman in class. He got all squared away. He bought his gun. He had a holster on order. He come and took a class, and he actually did very well in class. He hadn't shot in like 50 years. Did real well, and he showed me his defensive ammo that it wasn't your store.
No,
that a store sold him. And I'm just shaking my head, and I want to know your guys' opinions on that RIP, that RIP ammo.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about that round?
I think it's really cool.
Is it gimmicky?
Like,
it's
I think
gimmicky.
It's really cool.
It looks cool as shit in your bag.
Way cool.
I have a box, but it's gimmicky.
But I think it is gimmicky. I mean, it segments quite a bit, and I've seen it
segment like
shot.
So I have to ask a question. So is that round that looks like fingers.
It splinters out. Yeah.
Okay.
So I've seen it
cut
shot
all the way
into
down.
like ballistics gel, and it just goes everywhere. I mean,
So I could tell a story too about it too.
All right.
Tell it. Make sure you get a little closer to the mic, though.
Yeah, this is new for me.
Yeah. It's new for all of us.
So there was a significant shooting event that happened in the Boise area a few years ago, where a gentleman opened fire on another gentleman after a road rage incident.
Right.
And he had that type of ammo.
Yeah, I think we talked about that on.
Did you?
maybe.
It could
Not the ammo, but about the shooting.
Yeah.
And that was brought up against him in court.
Oh shit.
As,
It can be, yeah.
yeah. And so,
Man killer rounds.
yeah, and that's exactly it. And so,
We're
without
not
the
under
proper
NATO
training-
rules, man. It's sold at Walmart, man. I can get
Yeah.
this.
Without the proper training and understanding why it is you have that type of ammunition, it's real hard to articulate a defense if a prosecutor is using it against you in court to say, okay, look at the type of rounds this guy had. He had, he wanted to murder this guy.
Of course, that's
and
the
that kind
point.
of
I was
thing.
shooting
So that's just
remember?
one example.
I
of
shoot
that
to kill.
type of
I'm
ammo,
kidding.
That RIP ammo, where it was actually used in
Be used against you.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the gentleman that was shot was was killed. But still, that's a good example of how if you're not trained and you don't know what you're not experienced at it. You really need to know why you have the type of ammo you have. So,
The
Right.
guy didn't have an attorney with him, huh?
well, I probably did. I don't know.
Okay.
So, and I've
You remember that black Talon? Good grief, man! The panic over that.
Yeah.
Oh shit! It'll kill the whole family.
I'd still buy some
It'll
if I
take
get my
out your
hands on it.
genealogy, man. It'll kill your grandparents when you get shot with that.
So, I've heard the same thing and I like to reload ammo too, but I reload for poking holes and freaking targets and training and stuff. I don't reload hollow points. I don't reload my defensive rounds because I've heard that can be used against you as well. Yeah. This guy sat down there in his basement and he handcrafted these man killer rounds and he was looking to use them. He wanted to try them. I mean, I've heard it. That was in a class that I took from Masad Ayub. That was one of the big things that he talked about. Mm-hmm. So go out and buy a good defensive round, not a gimmicky round, something that maybe law enforcement uses. I mean, there's the gimmicky stuff, and then there's a good hollow point. And if you don't know, get a hold of me. Ask someone. Ask the guy. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to say, not offense, but I mean, I'm not saying you did it, but there was a guy behind the gun counter at a different place in town that told this guy, this is what you need.
And
I'm just
that's
like,
the thing is like
that's
there's guys
negligent
that are there's guys that are behind the gun counter that they just don't care. I'll be honest with you. I know there is. They just want to make a sale. They don't care. They just, oh yeah, get this stuff,
Yeah.
They don't do the type of research and they don't read the reviews and everything on this stuff. So some of those guys don't know. I'll be honest with you. They just don't.
The guys behind the gun counter?
Yeah. I mean, they may know the gun. They may know, everything about it. But when it comes to ammo, they just shoot, one specific type, or they'll just try and make the sale. So I read the reviews. I can tell you which one's the number one rated, the second, the third, the fourth.
That's I mean, that's the only word is negligent. I mean, come on, don't.
It happens.
I know, but they sell. I know.
It happens in
I get
every
it.
profession, though. I mean, really,
It does. So no ammo. You do have some firearms.
Yeah, we still have got a few firearms. I mean,
You
guys have guns?
You about to have a few days off, huh?
yeah, I actually got a few days off. And
There's
I'm
nothing to do. All the guns are gone.
man, I hope they're all gone by the time I get
You
back.
guys selling the crap out of the 1911s?
No, we're not. I don't think we maybe sold one or two.
A time of crisis, and the 1911s are left in the counter. Go figure.
Yep.
Magnum, he's going to know who he is. 1911s, people are leaving it behind, and they're opting for the Taurus. I love it.
Scared of the hammer?
What'd you say?
Scared of the hammer?
Scared of the hammer. They're opting for the Taurus and the high point. You have any high points left?
Oh yeah.
Oh, what?
Actually, we had a
So the 1911s are in the same class as the high points
We had
then.
a gal-
Interesting.
gal trying to buy a high point the other day that got put on delay, and then few days later, we got a response back as denied.
Was she trying to buy the pink one?
Yeah.
Oh, that's why
I
she was.
don't know. Maybe it was. I can't remember. Anyway, it was a 380.
She got denied for pink. Never mind.
I'm like, you're denied. You can't have a gun to protect yourself.
You can't have this. But go buy a 5-pound sledge because they're over like 3 aisles over.
Yeah.
We don't have to background check you for that. For nothing.
Get a bow staff.
Bow staff.
Tire iron.
So we need whatever we can get our hands on because the National Guard is coming down on us.
And they got the good stuff.
That was your cue, dude.
Okay, I'm sitting here. I'm hurting, man.
He's like, twist my arm. Twist it.
No. Well, I know y'all have heard all the stories. So we got several places. Florida's wanting to stop people from Louisiana coming over. They're going to do checkpoints and stop plates. You got, what is that, Connecticut? What state is that that's wanting to stop New Yorkers? Several of them, and I understand. It's just they're New Yorkers.
I get,
no offense.
Idaho?
stay out.
Idaho's one of them.
I'll look it up for you. Let me look
All
here.
right. Well, I got.
So I sent it to you. Where is he at?
Texas? New York City?
Rhode Island.
Rhode Island.
Oh, well, that
Rhode
makes sense.
Island police to hunt down New Yorkers seeking
Hunting
refuge.
them down.
They are on the hunt.
Prowl. Wow.
And now
Did you get a
Trump's
license
talking.
for that? Or I'm just curious.
A tag.
No limit.
I got a New Yorker tag.
There's Trump's talking about federalizing the National Guard and sealing off New York. I mean, we're really getting into Snake Plissken territory here. I mean,
Yeah.
and the National Guard conducted to do door-to-door checks in Rhode Island
So
to track
So
down
6 doors.
New Yorkers traveling into the state. Well, what they're wanting to do is if somebody New Yorker travels to Rhode Island, they're going to stop them. They want to get their contacts and family members in Rhode Island. Then they want to go to their house. I'm like,
And actually verify.
good.
hey, are you home?
That's awesome.
Yeah, see if anybody, you hiding a New Yorker in here.
So if you get if you get stopped by the National Guard or anything like that, and they start questioning you, you know what you need to do? Lick their forehead and then run.
Oh, I was gonna say like play possum, but I don't know.
I just want to say I would never lick a National Guard member. Nothing against National Guard members, but I would never do that.
This is freaking martial law, man.
It's the end of the world, man. You got to do what you got to do.
So next it's gonna be
Sometimes
LA,
you might
right?
have to do that.
If you gotta
You
lick,
don't know where they've been.
if you gotta lick a few people, so be it.
Never thought it would get to this, but hold still.
So yeah, martial law in New York, martial law in
But they're not declaring
Dallas.
Like they're
Idaho.
not like they're
They're
dancing
not, but
around it, but that's what it is.
that's
They're
what it
calling it
is.
safety checkpoints.
Yeah.
Oh, that's like the new term, like social distancing.
Yeah.
Once you get that curfew in place,
Social distancing is like stop on my First Amendment rights. The safety checkpoints is a new word for martial law.
well, I'm about ready to like
Show me your papers.
make a ring around myself.
Papers?
Just to
I got
keep people
papers.
away.
My company actually sent me papers.
You got papers.
I got papers so I can identify that I am essential.
You are essential.
Say, look, there's a lot of rich people counting on me to get out here and make this money, man. I'm essential. So, yeah, your papers.
And gun stores are essential now
In some states.
in some states. Which states? There is a state that they aren't essential in. Which one is that?
Well, L.A. Sheriff blocked it for a little while, and then he had to back up because Gavin Newsom, he was waiting on him to say what's essential and what's not. And I believe it is once again blocked by Gavin Newsom. Now, everybody's seeking emergency petitions to the courts and all that stuff. Courts are crap, man. The courts will say anything. You never can't trust what a court's going to do. You never know if they're going to what way they're going to swing. Not only that, you get a state of emergency kind of stuff, man. You looking at some chaos about to take place. Chaos. Be killing on the street, holding court on the street, son. We ain't got time for all that. You're gonna see some mess.
Oh yeah, I'm essential.
Okay, all right.
I've
Trying to convince us.
Essentially, I'm essential.
I want a T-shirt that says I'm essential.
I just wanted 2 weeks off.
I'm not feeling good.
There's a lot of people doing that.
There
man.
is a lot
There's
of
a lot of people doing that.
I'm sure they're probably taking advantage of it. I mean,
Oh, it's a lot of them.
it's like 2 weeks of free vacation. I mean,
Yeah, well, they're calling. There's people that's calling. They're different, and I go to a lot of places. They're calling different plants, whatever you call them, businesses, and they're saying, I feel like I got a little cough. Stay home for 14 days, go get seen by the doctor. They go to see the doctor. Doctor's like, you have no symptoms. We're not wasting time on you. Go home till you get sick enough to come back, and then we'll see what's wrong with you. Wow. And they call back to work and say, the doc won't see me. Well, you stay home.
Yeah.
So they're out at the clubs, and
there you go.
They're chilling out and having a good time.
The agency I work for requires you to exhaust your own sick and comp time.
Oh yeah, I think we're doing that too. But there is
way ahead of you.
There is a thing in place that if like we actually have to close down, that they still pay like 2/3 of your.
Only 2/3.
Yeah, because you can still claim the unemployment part.
Oh wow.
So, yeah. Anyway.
Well, right now you got a federal 100% pay for 4 months.
My agency pays 100%.
For how long?
Up to 100 and some odd hours.
I don't.
Okay.
I don't work. I don't.
Oh, yeah,
get,
that's right. Yeah,
I don't
sorry.
get paid.
Yeah.
So I did a
So
Facebook.
you're essential.
I'm essential. It's essential that I work.
That's right.
So I did a Facebook Live video before the podcast started, and I had a lady call me today asking about concealed carry permit classes. Said, "Are you having one on the 2nd?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm having one on the 2nd." Okay, I want to sign up. Okay, I can get you signed up. So I'm so thankful that you're doing one, and you're not shut down like everybody else. I said, "Oh, other instructors shut down around here?" And she named off a couple of them that were shut down, that weren't doing classes. And I kind of like that. So come see me. Come see me at Patriot Defense. I will do the classes. I ain't scared. Shut me down. Actually, I've had a lot of students call me for my upcoming class this Saturday. And I started getting these text messages. Are we still having class? And I was thinking, oh, no, people are going to start backing out. I tell them
They
that
ain't
we're
got nothing to do. They're trying to get out of the house,
yeah,
man.
I know. I told them I'm still having class, and they're like, "Oh, thank the Lord, we're so happy we'll be there. We can't wait." And I'm like, "Sweet, this is what I want. Send them all to me. I'm good with it. I'm gonna. If it's nice enough, we're gonna use the outdoor range. It's got nice gravel on it now, so I'm anxious to break that in.
Yeah, it's all fancy new gravel.
Oh man, it's fancy. It's virgin gravel.
Yeah.
Virgin.
I
I'm
didn't even want to
surprised
step
I
foot
didn't
on
see
it.
a ton of brass all over it already.
Not yet. There's a little bit. It's been too windy to shoot, man. I don't want to go. It's freaking cold out there. So
Yeah, people going stir crazy. They looking for a class. Somebody broke into the liquor store up in Twin, last weekend.
Oh, really?
did they?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
They got them on video. I'm like, first thing I asked, what did they take?
Yeah.
Fireball. I'm like, they're freaking kids. They take like 6.5 gallons of Fireball. It's like,
Use it for profiling purposes.
there's a $800 bottle of tequila right at the front. He's stealing Fireball. So yeah, people getting a little antsy, a little stir crazy.
So we've got a visitor today, and I don't know. You can tell me no.
No.
But
No.
I want to ask you a question.
Go ahead.
So are there certain, as far as law enforcement's concerned, are there certain things you guys are doing or not doing right now? Because of this whole thing, do you guys have a set of...
Making a list, checking it twice.
a protocol? I mean, because I know what I've heard.
Right. What'd you hear?
So as far as what?
As far as the coronavirus.
Yeah,
That was
the
just
craziness.
the general course of operations.
Yeah, so
If you can
let me
say,
tell you.
what-
Let me
what
tell
can-
you what I heard, and you can either nod and tell me I'm full of shit or what. I've heard that unless it's really dealing with like bodily harm to someone, that you guys are following up on stuff to a certain extent, but you're kind of like hands off a little
So
bit.
I will say that
Pushing
a lot,
stuff.
A lot of agencies have really augmented their call response protocols. You know, I mean they're cognizant of the fact that most law enforcement encounters are encounters that it's really difficult for a law enforcement officer to stay 6 feet away from someone, or
Right.
you know, and you have a lot of times law enforcement officers have to go into the homes of other people and whatnot, and so that
don't want that
puts
right now.
our first responders, all first responders, not just police officers, but all first responders at a significant amount of risk. So there's been some changes in some of the operations of law enforcement. And so what the agencies from the area that I work in have done, they've changed the types of calls that they will show up for.
Right.
So,
Okay.
So your lower level calls of something that can be
report.
handled over the phone, they're going to do that over the phone.
Gotcha.
But it's something that's a little more serious, something that we would call like a code 3 call, that where someone's life is in danger or
Right.
safety is in danger. Of course, officers are going to still show up, but it's just that's kind of what they're doing. And so as far as general law enforcement operations, crime prevention strategies, like your traffic stops and whatnot, officers they understand that they're placing themselves at risk if they
Right.
Initiate contact with someone that could be a carrier of the
Right.
yeah.
This is Idaho. Anyone's a carrier, but not of that.
right.
Never mind.
So that has changed a little bit of law enforcement. So if you do require law enforcement services, you should expect that if you don't need a police officer there right now, you're more than likely going to get a phone call or someone that's maybe not a sworn officer to respond to your issue and what you need. So yeah, those are kind of the things that have changed.
Are you laughing at me?
Why did you wrestle with the mic over there?
I'm like sliding.
What are you doing?
I'm like sliding. I don't know what I'm doing wrong today.
Okay.
I feel like this thing's not set up right. Someone else talk for a minute. I got to adjust this. I'm serious. I need to shut my mic off here.
Okay.
So I heard something like as far as I don't know that it was here anywhere, but even like theft calls, they're not even responding to.
Okay,
theft
yeah,
calls.
and so there's a lot of disinformation out there too. There's information out there on social media that says that police officers aren't going to show up for theft calls, and I've seen some videos from back east and some other places where people are just going into stores and just taking whatever they want because they know the police aren't going to show up.
That's California. They really won't. They like, yeah.
So that has to do with a whole other set of circumstances,
Right.
the COVID thing.
They've been doing that for a year or two now.
Our law enforcement here in Idaho, they really want to continue their high level of service to the people that they
Right.
cater to. And so I would say you're probably not going to see that. I mean, if you have someone that's coming into your stores and just emptying your shelves without paying, of course, police officers are going to have a vested interest in that and
sure.
respond accordingly. But some of those theft calls, though, are being handled over the phone. Some things where it's more than likely that an officer is only going to be able to take a report for, they're going to opt to do that. So,
Right.
Rather than show up, or unless there's some like some evidence processing that needs to take place, like fingerprints,
video.
some
surveillance or
evidence
something.
collection of some sort, but yeah, that's changed, and it will be that way for the foreseeable future. But your law enforcement officers out there really, they understand this. They understand that this puts them a little further away from the public because of the circumstances, and so it's
Right.
just unfortunate. But
Have you noticed people getting more on edge?
yes,
More.
because a lot of people think that, well, now that we have these orders in place,
Right.
orders
They can do stuff.
Yeah, and that
Or they have
law
to protect
enforcement is now
themselves.
empowered to
Gotcha.
do other things that they weren't previously allowed to do.
Right.
So certain things of your Fourth Amendment rights are now suspended or something like that.
In some places.
And so the main thing about that is your local law enforcement understands this, and they understand that there's an uneasiness amongst the population. And so they want to do what's right, to help people, understand that it's not the end of the world. Where the local law enforcement's not going to be showing up at your house with a gas mask kind of thing, or setting up checkpoints or anything like that. But but there are some things though that I think as we were talking before, there is a call for there to be more state intervention to do something about the spread of the COVID.
Yeah, I'm watching city against city right now, county against county.
And so that's one of the things that's a little unprecedented.
It's amazing
when we see official language coming out of places like Blaine County saying, that you are forbidden from leaving the county. That raises some questions, Yeah. So if you're forbidden from leaving the county, what does that mean for law enforcement? What does that mean, what if I have to leave the county? Do I need to call my law enforcement agency and say, hey, is this cool?
Twin Falls will smuggle you in.
It doesn't.
like that.
That's the thing is, it doesn't matter. Like, because the Blaine County people, I mean, I know they're down here in Twin because I've seen them.
But what's funny about that?
Did you report them?
We have an easy way of handling that. We could just close down the bridge, and it would.
That's true.
Let's blow up the bridge.
Yeah.
You can't get to the other side.
We'll keep those Jerome County people on their side of the freaking canyon.
Got to go all the way to Kimberly. You got to go to Buell.
No, I'm shutting those down too. We're blasting those suckers. Taking the bridge out.
Unless you can drive through the river.
You just made federal there.
I know.
Yeah.
So you hadn't noticed people more assault and stuff, people getting on the edge in the stores and wanting to go at each other in the toilet paper aisle.
Yeah, and so
stuff
like
that.
the article that you spoke about earlier was this lady threatens a guy with a gun. I don't even know if she actually had a gun or not.
She says she did, but she didn't draw it. It was on her hip.
Okay,
so
here's the story.
In order to charge her, she has to have the apparent means to do it as well. So
We'll read the story real quick.
All right,
Summarize.
This is a woman arrested after altercation involving gun at Boise Fred Meyer store. Police say Julie Smith, oh Lord, Julie Smith, we got your name out there, girl, threatened to pull her gun on a man she was arguing with at the store. Okay. A Boise woman was arrested on a felony aggravated assault charge Wednesday night after an altercation involving a gun at a Fred Meyer store. According to Boise police, officers responded at 7:30 p.m. at Fred Meyer store on Federal Way. God, I don't need to know all that. For a report of a man and a woman involved in a dispute. The woman was reportedly armed with a handgun. Police officers reviewed surveillance and video and found that during the argument, the woman indicated, I don't know how that happened, that she was going to pull her gun. How do you indicate on video that you're going to pull your gun? Do you mimic?
You do the Paul Blart like mall
yes,
cop
it's
thing.
the security guard move.
Okay.
You just turn your hip and put your hand on your butt,
Which was in a holster on her hip. The man feared for his safety, police said. The gun was not discharged and no injuries were reported. The suspect and the victim did not know each other, and investigators have not said what prompted the argument. A woman is identified as a 49-year-old Julie Smith of Boise was arrested and booked into Ada County Jail on a charge of felony aggravated battery. She is due to make her first court appearance Thursday afternoon. So she got held. She didn't bond out, huh? I don't know. Didn't say.
Well, a felony charge.
Okay.
So
what's funny is they were talking about, one state was talking about if they catch you out, not social distancing, they're going to take you to jail and lock you up. I'm like, so you're going to just put them all in a holding cell, right?
Right.
That's a whole lot of distance between them there.
Someone didn't think that through.
Throw about 30 of them in a little bitty cell.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're seeing more of those type of on edge incidents, and you'll see them in times where like the stores are trying to restock their shelves with, the high demand items, and arguments and things will happen, and people who don't, who are not trained properly in the use of firearms and the legalities associated with them are, they're going to find themselves in these situations.
Yeah.
So just
Watch
because
too
you
much
have a
TV,
gun
yeah.
doesn't empower you to be able to use it to get toilet paper at the store.
Depends on what value. Now the state will provide you toilet paper if that's the case.
Right.
They will issue it to you. You get your state issue.
You just have to go in front of everybody else.
So, dispel one other little internet rumor that's going around that the police are following delivery trucks and helping them get it unloaded. I'm like, come on, man, we ain't got that.
I saw a thing on Facebook that said that they were delivering to
Escorting.
the Dollar General store.
Yeah, come on, man,
And
we can
this-
do better than Dollar General.
This lady
Let's get the Walmart truck.
was thanking law enforcement and thanking the people for letting them shut down so they could restock the store. and unload this truck and was thanking law enforcement
Tell me that's not happening.
for coming out and protecting them, watching their backs while they unloaded the truck.
Now, I heard one incident in Georgia at a Walmart where the truck was being unloaded and they had to have police there while it was being unloaded because there was an incident a few days before where the truck had got robbed. But
well, that's the thing is law enforcement will get involved when there's a credible threat. So, there's been previous incidents. There's there's a high likelihood of violence taking place or
it's a toilet paper truck.
I know, right?
No one wants
for the most part,
no one wants a chapped
your
ass.
law enforcement agencies,
Put a helicopter on it.
your law enforcement agencies, they want private, entities, private security firms and stuff to handle those kinds of things because that's not really what your police should be used for. And
New business idea.
Yeah.
You guys want to join?
we got armored car.
You want to join? I got the Scout. That's close enough.
Yeah.
So, big news in Idaho. The
Okay.
governor went ahead and signed and passed that what they are considering full constitutional carry, which means that if you are non-resident of Idaho and you're coming in visiting, you can carry without a permit, even being a non-resident. This is...
You know how many new people we're going to get once this coronavirus blows over? You know how many people are saying, you know what, this city stuff ain't that great. And they got these big red circles over in my city, and Idaho's got these little circles. You know how many people's going to start heading out this way?
And now
You already got people buying up Montana and Nebraska. Montana's like crazy.
Yeah.
Every billionaire in the world's out there.
So what do you guys think about that bill? I mean,
Constitutional care.
Yeah, well, it's not that. Okay, so I agree, Second Amendment rights, whatever. I agree with all that stuff, but this is a bill they worked hard on. They wanted what they're calling full constitutional carry, and so they fought really hard to make it so non-resident people from out of state, when they are here, they can carry, with constitutional carry. They can carry without a permit. So I don't want to keep people from carrying without a permit. Or with, whatever, that's okay to me, but I think it was, and I'm going to get all kinds of blowback from this, I'm sure. I just think that was the dumbest bill ever. Do something for me, not for someone that lives in Nevada or Montana.
I already had a little bit of problem with them going full constitutional carry for state residents because I still know there's people out there that should not be carrying,
Right.
knowing that they haven't been educated or had a class on it.
You help me with my classes. You see those
Yes,
people.
I see them.
You see the ones that come in for classes.
Right. So,
You don't imagine the ones that
I'm
don't.
glad that they come for classes, but there are still people out there. I don't think that there are state residents already that shouldn't be doing it. So having other people from other states coming in, knowing what I've seen, I'm not fully 100% on this.
But why don't we just pass a bill for residents of other states, for non-residents?
Yeah.
This didn't do, I mean,
It's like selling out of state tax.
I guess I understand it, but I mean, they didn't do anything for me.
No, it doesn't do anything.
There's so much other stuff they could have.
It's not like it's going to make tourism go through the roof or anything, or bring in any more money.
Fight for me to be able to carry K through 12. Fight for me to be able to, because with my permit, I can carry on college campuses.
Right.
Let me carry everywhere.
Yeah.
Places where there might be an actual shooting.
Yeah.
Like anywhere that seats over 1,000 people, gymnasiums, expo centers, whatever. Let me carry there. Why didn't we chase that down? Why didn't we broaden that one? Instead, we broadened constitutional carry. We should have broadened the year after they let the enhanced permit crowd carry on college campuses, and they didn't get all the college campus. That next year, they should have chased down the rest of that one. Why didn't they do that? That makes more sense to me. That benefits you, me, all of us, the taxpayers, right?
Yeah, and there's some science that goes behind that too that shows you can do some you could do some research to show that there's a spider on the wall. That's
Yeah, I'm shocked.
Kill it. So there's some research. Go ahead.
But there's some science though that needs to be done there, to show that okay, so now that these programs have been instituted in places like Idaho, how many mass casualty shootings have there been, or how many gun incidents have there been, is there some social benefit that can be shown from this being instituted. And I think you probably find that, yes, there is,
Right.
And, but there's some gap in some of the, the social science, research out there in that. And that's an area of study that needs to take place, in my opinion.
Well, and I think, like Philip just said, so, the state will if it lets other states' residents come into it and carry, then if we, as Idaho residents, go to another state, then we lose it just like that. So why is it like not a reciprocal thing?
Right. Oh, yeah. Well, and Philip also states up here on Facebook Live, for those of you wondering what we're talking about, he says, I think there should be a federal carry that you can take a class and have the right to carry in any other state. So I see that premise. That's national reciprocity. I see that and I kind of understand it. But as soon as we do that, you're giving the federal government is telling you what you have to do to be able to exercise your Second Amendment right. Do we really want them mandating what we have to do, how we can do it, and everything to be able to carry in all the states? I don't think I do.
Not when they can change so radically from election to election.
You don't want them to give them that kind of control. It still should be left to the states, to be honest with you. And if you don't like your state, then you just freaking figure out how to get it changed.
That's right.
I mean, I don't want them. They took bump stocks. They control suppressors and all that. You want to give them the ultimate control, because I guarantee you right now, if they had the ultimate control, what do you think they'd be doing right now? Guess what?
Sending the National Guard after you.
Nobody's carrying all of a sudden.
well-regulated militia.
If they can put it into place, they'll yank it quick if they have to.
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to argue with Philip, but I guess.
No, I understand. I agree completely with what he's saying, but I see the slope that you're talking about at the same time. So that leaves us in the conundrum that we're in.
Right.
What do we do? I mean, come on, man. Our politics, the left and right, are so far divided. We can't live together no more. I mean, the drastic swings from state to state. You have governors that are banning the prescription of medications that have shown to take care of this coronavirus. Why? Why would they want you to freaking die?
Special interests.
Yeah, and political gain.
Population control.
Yeah, well, political gain.
Big pharma.
They're going to get this,
So they'll quit buying all the ammo.
But they're literally wanting you to die. I mean, that's insane. That's crazy. Okay, anyway.
Oh, no, you're good. I was reading what Levi said up there, trying to understand what he's saying. Would you like to be able to conceal carry outside Idaho? It has to start in the gun-friendly states to gain momentum.
As long as you don't get caught.
So, with my enhanced permit, I can carry in some states outside of Idaho, and I could see what he's saying. It's got to start in the gun-friendly states. So maybe he's saying that, we instituted this constitutional carry thing, or what we call full constitutional carry in the state of Idaho, and someone's got to start it. Maybe it'll catch on, right? I guess only time will tell. Philip, if states still had their own carry policies, then a federal as a second option.
That's what you just said, basically. So
yeah,
like the one state starts it, and the states all have to be together on this.
Right.
It can't be like a federal thing where it's federally mandated. You have to do this and this and this. But if each state agrees, I guess it still is kind of federal, but it's not. If we had the states deciding.
If we had a federal government that actually paid attention to the Constitution, but they want to. They want to debate for years on what is. What does is mean? What does that mean? I think that means you can't have nothing. Yeah. I mean, they just make shit up out of whole cloth, and everybody goes along like it makes sense because it fits their agenda. If we followed the rules, followed the Constitution, we wouldn't have any of this, but we don't.
Well, and I kind of had something. Yeah. This is off topic a little bit, but one of the guys that tried to buy a firearm from us got delayed and said that it's and this wasn't like recently. This was, and it wasn't even our store. It was a different store, but said that it was an infringement on his rights that we would not release the firearm after the 3-day waiting period. Like, cause there, and some stores are the federal background check system says that after a 72-hour business day period, you can release the firearm. But a lot of businesses don't take part of that. They want that proceed from the background check system. So what this guy was stating is that his 72-hour period had been up, and we were not going to release the firearm to him. He said it was an infringement on his rights. And it's the right is to bear arms, not to buy arms. I mean, I know it's kind of a slippery slope there, but we don't have to sell the firearm to anybody.
Right.
So
you're a private business.
Yes.
You guys can do what you want to do.
Right.
He can go somewhere else and try to get one.
Exactly.
You're a participant in the free market economy.
Yes.
Yes.
So, but this is actually this guy that said this and did all this and Google reviews and everything else against my employer is a very famous individual, one that was in a certain holdup of this place in Oregon just a few years ago.
Oh,
okay.
That guy.
Not Al.
Yes, not Al, but
Right.
the other, yes, one of the other ones. So that's
And he's
obviously they're, that's his opinion and he's allowed to have that. But
so I don't mean to jump in here, but that whole incident, he knew that he was going to have problems.
of course,
He knew that he was going to have problems. And if I remember right, he walked in there with a camera recording the whole thing.
probably.
And what it was his time in the limelight was over.
This
and,
was at DMB?
It was a DMB, not our DMB here,
Okay.
but another one,
yeah, Eagle.
Okay.
Emmett.
Emmett. And he went in there knowing, and he was creating a video. That's
Right.
That's how that happened. And I don't want to go down that road, but that dude was just looking for some more limelight.
that's totally what it was.
He's got a grudge. He had a video out the other day, and he's usually ranting about some crazy shit.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but that dude drives me absolutely nuts.
And that's when they take that Second Amendment right and they try and, like you were saying, when they twist the words and make it sound like they wanted or what they interpret it as, the right to bear arms is not the same as the right to buy arms. As far that's the way I look at it.
Well, it goes along the lines of this subject of, the FBI over the weekend is not processing 4473s, right? So the NICS check system over the weekend, they're not until Monday, right? I read that somewhere.
Well, it's taking about 3 days for the system to even process anything. So
when you think about it, if the FBI is not going to conduct background checks, isn't that a way to shut down the Second Amendment?
Oh, yeah, there you go.
yeah,
Because, yes, you have the right to bear arms, but they also
but it's
have
not.
the right
So
now to.
a lot of what the background check system is, it's an automated response. And I know that because of the speed in which some of the proceeds we get back. Literally, there's sometimes we click the button and we get to proceed like that.
So it just flips through and tries to
Yeah.
locate your name, your social.
I'm well known. I'm in the system.
So it puts it. You're already.
Go ahead.
You're
Go
in the
ahead.
system,
Give it
and
to me.
it'll automatically flag you or whatever. Now, with the overwhelming volume of people in the system right now, the server and everything cannot process everybody fast enough. So the server pretty much has to be on a delayed. They do a 3-day thing, and if it does go to delay, then what's going on there, once it goes to delay, it goes to an actual person where they're actually doing some research and they're looking you up manually instead of just the system doing it.
So that person is probably working, whoever those people are probably working overtime right now because they're not only getting people that are coming up as somewhat flagged, let's do a little research, but they're just flagging because the stupid machine's too busy.
Yes, but in a way, I'm glad that they're doing that,
Right.
Because it's making me feel a little more comfortable that they are actually
not just
engaging
hitting
in
the green button.
Yeah, hit the green button. Yeah.
Go.
They're actually looking at some of these people and saying, is this person really legit? So
I'm curious. I want to go buy something now to see if it holds me up. Come on, man! I got class 3s. They done X-rayed me and took iris scans and bite marks.
I don't have to worry about
pee in
them
this
looking
cup.
at
Yeah,
it.
I don't have to worry about it either.
I just throw that little card at them and I don't have to worry about
Yeah,
it. So.
you got a permit. There's one guy in this room doesn't have a permit.
Who? Got a freaking permit, man. Got a permit for 10 years. Don't have an enhanced.
It's on the house. Come take it.
Okay, well.
So yes, James, I know they were all acquitted, and they were supposed to get their rights back, but there's still, I know there's still something that's holding them back, and it keeps
I think
getting
they have
delayed.
some charges still pending.
Well, they had a brutal
Some local charges.
federal prosecutor that was just trying to destroy the people.
Yeah, so I know there's still something in the system that's keeping them from attacking stuff.
Yeah.
So
The blacklist.
yeah, that's what it is.
And they're going to be flagged anyway because they're going to have that arrest record. So, I mean, if you have a federal arrest record, you're probably going to get delayed, no matter if you've
Right.
been acquitted or not. You're going to get delayed so that some further research can take place. More than likely.
Oh, guarantee you, they on no-fly list and everything.
Yeah. If you have a federal arrest record, I don't know about state, but
Let me ask you something, man. I hadn't looked into it in a long time. Do they still have a retired law enforcement card for carry?
yep.
Yeah.
Does that give you any benefits? Because back in the day, you could carry on airplanes and everything.
Yeah, no.
You were good to
I
go.
don't think so
Federal
anymore.
buildings, airplanes. Hey, buddy.
And you're still required to qualify, I think, like is it every year or something.
So what benefit?
Retired. They still have to qualify. So
So what
they?
benefit does that give you now? Anything?
Well, for the college campus carry.
That's it.
Yeah, that's about it. I
Anywhere.
don't know. I'm not retired, so
All you got to have is 10 years.
Yeah.
At least that used to be the requirement.
well, yeah, but I don't know. I mean, I know for the college campus carry, it does play a role there. Federal I don't think it does for the federal government, though.
I'm not going on, but it is 50 states.
I think so. Yeah, yeah. I think all 50 states have a
Yeah, it's federal.
provision for
Yeah.
retired law enforcement identifications.
So you can still carry 50
So, like,
states, but
Most
it takes
and
away a lot of
a
the.
lot of Idaho agencies too will give your issue firearm to you as well.
Now, hold up. Wait a minute. What?
Yeah.
What happened?
A lot of Idaho agencies will give you your issued firearm to you when you retire as well.
Oh,
yeah.
I was thinking, say they're going to issue me a firearm. I'm going to go get it. I got 10 years.
If you retire, yeah, your firearm that was issued to you, they'll.
Oh, okay. I thought they was going to give me a new one.
Unless it's like an HK-416 or something, you are an attack team.
Right.
So I've had a lot of retired, and I'm not picking on law enforcement, but retired law enforcement had been retired for years. I don't know if they let their card, I don't know how that works, but they needed to get their enhanced permit because they didn't have their card, didn't follow up on it. Whatever. They didn't have it. And they came into class, and they've been retired for a long time. They come into class and acting like they know it all. And you know what? They don't.
They're usually the first ones to mess up.
And when you and Mark's seen it, and even in the shooting portion, it's kind of fun to watch. If someone comes to class with an attitude, it's kind of fun to watch them.
So, I'm sure you teach this that certain mechanics of shooting it's a perishable skill.
Oh yes, it is. I teach that very much so. Yeah,
it very much is.
Yeah.
And people who are not practiced in it will lose those skills. And then when you add the fact that certain skills were taught at one point in a law enforcement career that are no longer taught.
They change a lot.
They do change. So like you look at law enforcement officers of the 80s, and 70s and 80s who used wheel guns and whatnot for
They look like they're doing air
firearms.
squats.
Yes, because the FBI used to teach you,
Hold
square
down there.
up to the target, draw, put your firearm right in the middle of the body and fire.
Yeah.
And the sound reason for that was the emerging technology of the day was the fact that they're wearing the new body armor.
Right.
And so the more body armor you can put towards the threat, the more safe you are. Right.
Yes.
And so sorry,
It's okay. I do it all the time.
But some certain tactics have changed, with the advent of automatic firearms, and the ability to tap and rag and handle your your malfunctions and whatnot and your reloads. And so some of those skills they were either never taught on or they just haven't practiced them. And so,
they're a great proof of it's a perishable skill for sure.
Yeah. And things have definitely changed over time.
They have.
Just like your guy who was
teacupping that baby
with the elbow in the
ribs.
the
elbow. Yeah,
I remember people doing that. Well, they would put the weight down on that, almost like a prop.
He would tuck his arm. Yeah, and I
remember everybody doing.
Were you here when I talked about him?
I don't think so.
Yeah, he used to teach. He was in the Army, and he was on there years and years ago. And he was on their competitive shooting team, and he also was their instructor, the trainer for shooting the 1911, the 45. And the dude was 80 something years old, and he came in and we spent like an hour just comparing notes of how he used to do it, how I do it, and he wanted to learn. And dude, it was absolutely fascinating. And he had, I can't remember, do you remember the make I said that his 1911 was?
Sewing company, cash register company.
Is it National Cash Register?
Really?
1911. Wow. He had one. He didn't have it with him, but just phenomenal guy to talk with. I mean, it was great to compare the different techniques. So you guys are reading up on all this? Is there any
wall of text there?
I can't see very well. So
which one?
James Fisher's making a point about the government. Right to bear arms, right? I think we should have the Switzerland model. It's in our Constitution. The United States government to issue us a rifle and a handgun. Issue it to us. Make the government pay for it. Make the government pay for everything else.
Is that the only one they get?
Huh?
Or can they go buy more?
They can buy more, but have it like Switzerland.
So get your gun and your cheese.
Yeah,
I like that cheese.
And your roll of toilet paper.
You can shoot the cheese.
You're set for 2 months. One square at a time. Make
America.
sure that's right. Exactly.
Good grief. Can you believe America fell over toilet paper? I never saw that one coming. I never saw it.
Oh, them plumbers are making tons of money.
Oh, they are,
now.
man. They're making a killing.
I do feel bad for our sanitary workers at the water treatment plants, having to clear that.
They probably got every shift. Every shift they're doing it probably every hour.
Around the clock.
Yeah, it's insane. So I tell you what.
Unsung heroes.
Yeah. I tell you what. We hey, say hello to Josh for me. Hey, Josh. I just said hello.
Okay.
He's my buddy.
I can text it back.
Josh is my buddy. Yeah, sure. Text it back. Reply. I'll keep talking here. So we appreciate all the viewers we got on Facebook Live, and we appreciate all the comments that we addressed a good portion of them. I don't think we addressed absolutely all of them. It's really hard to carry on a conversation and read these things at the same time. So I'll go back and I'll check them all out. And if there's anything I think we need to touch on, we will, good topics, maybe possibly save them for the next podcast. Everyone's reading everything.
I'm trying to catch up, and it's a lot there.
It is. But we appreciate everyone listening to the podcast. Share it with your family, share it with your friends, make everyone subscribe to it. And if you got any questions, any comments, you can call me. You can text me, area code 620-794-6223. That's area code 620-794-6223. Just let me know. Say hi. Say, hey, how you doing?
I got a question. Since I don't want to leave a guy hanging here. And since we have a law enforcement officer here, federal arrest record still falls under Title 18. You know anything about that? You know anything about Title 18?
Yeah, he's speaking about Idaho State Code Title 18.
Okay.
Chapter 18.
So
it's our criminal statutes.
If they are acquitted and cleared by the state Title 18
so there's some technical issues.
The feds to recognize that?
So the federal government doesn't receive.
Federal government does what the hell it wants.
Yeah, it's true.
So
like Kelly.
To answer that a little bit, the federal government doesn't receive notice of state crimes unless fingerprints are taken for it, or that there's a state local record for it. So,
I'm confused. So
that's.
I tell you what. You know what we need to do. That whole situation, this whole situation kind of we're talking about and the people we're talking about, that would be a great one for our other podcast.
I think so.
We could dive deep on that.
I think so. I sat in a parking lot all day.
I know. You get
glued to my phone.
Like,
I couldn't get out of my truck.
I'm not going to work.
I'm not going to work, man. I was like, oh shit, it's going down. It's going down, man. It's going down.
So just real quick, I see someone new I haven't seen jump on here is Kelly Dewey. He says, evening from Texas. Hopefully you're not in the Dallas area. But if you are, good luck. Stay inside.
At least it's warm down there.
Yeah, stay inside.
Not so cold.
Man, Dallas is like L.A. You don't want to be.
But we appreciate everyone listening. I gave out the number a few minutes ago, and we've actually our Prepper Conspiracy podcast is actually getting more downloads than this podcast is.
Oh no.
Yeah,
No.
it's good. It's a fun one. You got to admit you had fun doing that.
I did.
one.
I had fun doing that one too. That was pretty cool.
So
Well, you can say anything on that one. You ain't got to kind of watch your
take the
tongue.
gloves off, man. Hey, we appreciate it. You can find the podcast on Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, YouTube, all kinds of places, and we appreciate our guest. I already forgot your name because that's just
He's bad with names.
I am
terrible
horrible.
with names.
So am I.
Don't feel bad.
Yeah. So he's our bearded guest. We appreciate him swinging by. Anything else? Anything else we want to finish off? Anything?
What? So I got a question for Mark. When someone comes to the store, what questions should
over
they
it.
not ask?
Will this killer man blow his head off?
Don't ask if we have any 9mm, and don't ask when we're getting any. That's the major ones right
What
now.
about 223?
That one too. Don't ask that either.
What about 5.56?
Don't ask that either.
What about
In
10
fact, go to
millimeter?
hell.
What about
don't,
10?
No, shut your mouth. Just shut your mouth.
So there is no ammo. Good
Well,
grief.
so I mean, there's just plenty of 30-06. If everybody likes to,
At first
I
they came
prefer
for
to
the
keep them
toilet
as far
paper.
away as possible.
What about 38 Super?
I think that's
Probably
all gone.
got a box of that somewhere.
I don't want to be racist or anything,
Dust
but
on it.
all the Mexicans have already bought that up. So,
22 WMR.
oh, there's lots of that.
Okay, good.
Now the Mexicans, I don't know what it is. That 38 Super, they all want the 38 Super.
They have all these special guns or what?
I heard that's like the
Yeah,
only
it's not
gun that they're
something I've
allowed
ever heard
to,
before.
the only caliber they're allowed to have in Mexico. That's what I heard.
Really?
I don't know if that's true or not.
Really?
38 Super. Every one of them will come in and they'll ask, you have
You
38
have started
Super?
a firestorm, man.
I'm not kidding. I'm probably going to get all kinds of racist comments and stuff, or saying I'm a racist, but that's what I notice things. Capital license plates, I'm just saying.
Kelly
Super.
That's true.
Kelly is just east of Amarillo in
Down in the West Texas.
Pampa.
Pampa.
Okay. As long as you ain't in East Texas, man. Good grief, man. Houston's a mess. Ever since Katrina, Houston is not. Don't go to Houston, man.
So
if you want a Whataburger, you keep on driving. You find you another one somewhere else.
but okay, I think we got to finish this up, or we're going to ramble on all
Oh,
night.
we can go.
All right.
It is a great show. So thanks for joining us, and we shall be back sometime next weekend.
Sure.
Bye.